Okay, so really quickly, I know I said my next video would be on letters of recommendation, and that is the next thing that you have to do. So this video um, is a quick kind of an option. Well, it is a totally optional thing that you can do, but I highly recommend. Um, we probably don't need it, but just because it happened to me, I highly recommend it. So a little story. Um, so like I said, I added some personal things that kind of delayed my process, and one of those was going to my flight physical, my first flight physical, and finding out that I had astigmatism. I never knew I had 20/20 vision my whole life. Even at the flight physical, I had 20/20 vision, but I had astigmatism, and I found out that if you have astigmatism of over one diopter in any eye, you're not qualified and you're rejected. You can't be a warrant officer. Can't be a WAFT applicant. Um, so then I had to go and get LASIK and then wait 6 months for that. Sorry, not 6 months, 3 months for it to heal up, and then I could do the flight training again. Quick point on that: when they told me I had astigmatism and that I couldn't be a warrant officer pilot, they did tell me that I had no options, and so yeah, there are going to be times that people tell you, well, there's nothing you can do. Make sure you know for a fact that there's nothing you can do, because they told me there was nothing I could do. I went into the regs. I did my research and I saw, oh yeah, they had just changed the rules to where that you could now get LASIK and still be a pilot. Um, I guess this guy was a little old school, but just make sure that what they're telling you is the truth. And once you get it from 2 or 3 people, okay, yeah, that's probably true. But don't take just one person's word for it. I'm not saying shop for an answer either, but just make sure that what they're telling you, if you can't do it for X, Y, or Z, um, that you hear it from more than just one person. So in any event, this it's totally optional for you to do. But what I highly recommend before you start any of this, if you haven't started it already, go to a civilian doctor, optometrist, eye doctor, and I'll put a link in the description below for what they're looking for medical disqualifiers. In terms of eyes, eyes is typically the number one thing that disqualifies applicants. Um, if you got something weird going on with your heart or something in the flight physical, then can't really help you out there. But before your eyes, you can go to a civilian eye doctor and tell them. And like I said, I'll put the link in the description below to the list of the things that they'll check with your eyes. And you can tell your civilian doctor to check those things for you and make sure that that you're within spec, because it would really suck to go through this entire process. It's a long and arduous process. The flight physical is one of the last things a recruiter will have you do. So it would really suck to go through this process, have taken the ASVAB, have taken the SIFT, gotten your letter of recommendation, wrote your essay, and then get to the flight physical and find out that, oh, I can't. I had astigmatism, or I had this or that, and my depth perception was off, and I can't fly. And then you would have wasted however many months or hours, man hours that you spent preparing your packet just to get rejected on a medical condition. And that's just something that you can't control, right? It's not like a bad test score or something. It's just something you were born with. So I highly recommend that you go get your eyes checked out first, because if you're going to get rejected on that, you might as well get rejected on that at the very beginning of the process, and not at the end when you've already done all this work that you didn't need to do. So yeah, I'll put a link in the description below to the and I forget what it's called, but it's basically the medical disqualifiers that they're looking for specifically for your eyes, and you can take that and take it to your doc, to your optometrist or what have you, and just say, hey, I want to get checked for these things. It's going to be depth perception. You're going to do the little 1 or 2 test, and then you just got to have you probably already know what your vision is, but you got to have correctable vision to 2040. And so yeah, so totally optional. You don't have to do it, but I recommend it just because it would suck. It would be a waste of time, and it'd be kind of disheartening. Right now, you're not really invested into it. If you find out you're rejected, it wouldn't be so bad. But if you find out you're rejected after you've invested so much time and money, it's gonna be worse. So anyway, totally optional, but I highly recommend you do it.